Hi, I'm Kathy Cook. Welcome. This class we will focus on back care. So the focus will be to bring some awareness, to create space, and to build strength. We'll be doing several different poses, looking to create health in the body, release tension, and bringing that extra awareness in your daily life. We'll be using some props, so we've got blocks, a belt, some blankets, or you can use towels if you don't have blankets, and a chair. So get those together, clear a wall, and let's get started. Hi, so we'll start with getting your props ready. So have a few blocks, a couple blocks. If you have a bolster, you can get a bolster. Have 2 blankets. If you don't have blankets, get some rolled towels and have a strap. And we'll be using a chair today, okay? So to get started, I'm just gonna put these over here first. And move the chair, okay? So in this back care class, we'll be just addressing different areas of the body, not any specific areas, but mostly neck, middle back, and lower back. So all of these poses will help you to keep a healthy back and pay attention to those parts of the back that get strained. So typically it's the lower back and it's the neck. The middle back doesn't get much attention, so we'll bring mobility to all of those different parts, okay? So we're going to start by first laying down on the floor and bring both feet to the wall. When you come down, important to tilt the pelvis so that the lower back is lengthening and you're flat on your shoulders. And then just bring your feet to the wall. And as you press your feet, let your knees straighten by drawing your buttocks down. All right, so not lifting up to lower the buttocks, but kind of hooking the buttocks, straightening the legs. And then you can bring your arms over the head, connecting the feet. Keep the feet hips width apart. Press into the heels, press into the balls of the feet, and lengthen away. So this is Supta Tadasana. So you can feel the whole back of the body. The tailbone is moving down, lengthening from the calves to the heels, pressing the mounds of the toes into the wall, lifting the knees, move your thighs down, and feel the buttocks. Flesh moving down from the top to the bottom. Tailbone moving into the body. So using the floor here as a prop for that length through the back of the body, shoulder blades are descending, tailbone is descending, thighs are descending, and then release the hands. And now keep the left foot, the right foot at the wall. Bring the left knee in, interlace the fingers, and keep that thigh descending. Keep the weight on both sides of the pelvis. Moving the outer hip down, so this tends to come up, but keep that outer hip down, move the knee in, and lengthen out. Parvanmuktanasana. So as you draw the knee in, feel the lower back on the floor. So you're spreading across the sacrum. Lower back is wide. Collarbones are wide. Shoulders descending. Take a few breaths there. And then change sides. So you'll bring that left foot down, press against the wall, and then take the other leg in. So here at the groin, you want to get that depth in the groin. Keep the outer hip moving away and draw the leg in. So with that foot at the wall, continuing to press into the wall, lengthening the lower back away from the waist. Allow the knee to come in, shin bone to the thigh, breathing. and then bring your foot down onto the floor. You're going to turn and go to the right side. So now we'll use a chair. We'll do this in 2 parts. We'll just, for those of you that have any kind of back issues that are watching this, we'll start slowly by just coming down into this preparation for Supta Padangusthasana 1. And so bringing both legs onto the chair, have your strap. Again, lengthen the lower back extending from the waist, from the back waist, so you can feel the hips evenly placed. Take your strap, making sure the hips are even on both sides. Take the strap onto the heel. So let this leg just descend completely. Let the femur bone drop down into the hip socket. Here with this leg lifted, your left leg lifted. Strap on the heel, you want to connect with the tibia, with the femur bone, and draw it down into the hip socket so you can feel that connected. And both sides of the lower back are even. So oftentimes we don't get that connection in our legs, connecting with the pelvis. So here, pull the heel and experience that femur moving into the hip, and feel both sides, the right hip and the left hip, on the floor. Let the abdomen become quiet. Relax the breath. Spread the toes. Tighten the kneecap. Keep the back of the knee open, and broaden the back of the thigh. So have a wide back thigh, rolling the leg slightly inward, so the leg's not turning out, but it's moving inward. So with that action, you're getting this movement so that you're not getting that disconnection in your pelvis or your leg. All right, so then we'll do the other side. Take the strap up, connect again with the heel, drawing the heel down to the tibia, to the kneecap, lifting. So both sides, all 4 corners of the knee are lifting, drawing down into the hip socket. Both sides of the pelvis, lower back are on the floor evenly. Taking a few breaths there. So you can stay in this as long as you'd like, connecting, breathing, shoulders wide, collarbones wide, and then coming down. Okay, so now turning to the side, I'm going to take the chair over here. I won't use the chair right now, and then I'm going to lay down on the floor, coming back to Supta Tadasana. Again, start with the knees bent, lengthen the lower back, always extending from the top of the waist, the buttocks down. To straighten the legs, press the feet into the wall. Without lifting up, let that flesh descend down. So showing the other way is to straighten the legs so you're not lifting up like this. Bend the knees, keep the pelvis grounded, straighten the legs. So you're getting that rotation of the pelvis around the head of the femur bone. Keep the right foot pressing into the wall, bend the left knee, bring the strap up, Supta Padangusthasana 1. Again, the same action as you had on the chair, but this time you're keeping that right leg grounded, you're pressing into the heel, pressing into the ball of the foot, inner thigh is rolling down, inner knee is rolling down. And with that lifted leg, holding the strap so that you feel that connection from the heel all the way into the hip. Kneecap is lifted, opening the back of the knee, extending the calf up toward the heel, but also descending the femur bone down into the hip. Abdomen released down toward the floor, front ribs moving down toward the back ribs. Keep the back body wide and broad, collarbones wide, holding on to the strap. Using the strap with the hands holding so that with the elbows bent, you're connecting the upper arm into the shoulder socket as well. shoulder blades moving down. And then release, bring that foot back to the wall. And then we'll do the other side. So keep that connection of the foot at the wall. If you've lost the connection, come back to the wall, press the heel, lengthen the leg, descend the tailbone. So keeping that leg at the wall is important while you're especially beginning this pose, because it keeps that connection with that leg, which is vital to keeping the pose so that the hips are in line and you have some control there. All right, so heel pulling down with that strap, feeling that connection from the femur bone into the hip socket. Relax your abdomen, let your lower back spread, sacrum spread. Keep the knees firm, opening through the backs of the knees, lengthening up from the calf, up, drawing the back of the femur bone down, front of the femur bone down, broaden the back of the thigh. And then release, coming back to straight leg position. And now we'll go into Padangusthasana number 2. So when you do that, you're going to be bringing the leg to the side. So here you want to bend the leg, externally rotate the thigh, and while you do that, the pelvis, maintaining that turning of the pelvis, so the buttocks is moving down. So just coming into that external rotation. And bring the leg up. Bring the other hand out onto in line with the shoulder, and then you can straighten that leg. So you can ease up on that strap, you can bring the elbow onto the floor, straighten the leg. Pressing the elbow, lengthening the leg. Keep this thigh working, so it's descending. That side of the pelvis is still on the floor. If you feel that side of the pelvis lifting, you've brought the leg down too far. So keep the leg lifted. Use this elbow on the floor to help you to control this side. Coming down any amount. You can also use a blanket or a block. So if you need a little bit extra support, you can take that support right on the outer thigh, so that here you'll feel the outer hip joint. So you can bring more awareness to that, the muscles of that outer hip, connecting back into the hip socket, and then bring the leg down any amount you can, extending, long arm. Again, if you need to bring the elbow down, just for a little bit of support so you can stay there a bit longer. And then bring the leg up. We'll use the blanket on the other side. So you'll take the blanket to that side, come back into straight leg position, and then bring the leg up, take that strap on the heel, and again, get that external rotation. So you're cutting that buttock under, place the blanket right up against the socket. So these muscles here around the socket are important to be aware of, that they're helping to contain and connect the femur bone into the hip. So turning the leg, coming back to the straight leg, press the foot into the wall, thighs descending. Even yourself out so that your shoulder, your upper body is in line with the bottom body, and then begin to straighten the leg. As you straighten the leg, be aware you want to keep externally rotating that leg so the outer right hip is moving away from the waist. So coming into this position, breathe, stay grounded in that bottom leg, thigh descending. So the thigh is moving away. You're opening through the back of the knee. All the same actions as Supta Padangusthasana 1. So let the breath relax in the abdomen, moving down toward the floor. And then you can stay in this position as long as you'd like. Come up. Come back to Supta Tadasana at the wall. You can take your blanket and then extend the arms again. Again, move down so that the hips are descending. If you've come away from the wall, press the heel, press the mounds of the feet, extend the arms. All right, in this version, Supta Padangusthasana 4, you're going to bring your left leg up and take the strap in the opposite hand. All right, and now I'm going to bring the leg over. So I'm lifting the hip and letting that lower back lengthen. So I'm more on the outer side of this hip, and this is lifting up. Anchor yourself down with that arm. Extend that leg over. Again, bring the elbow onto the floor and try and create a little space here. So this is lengthening. And then with the gentle exhalation, turn the abdomen. Turn the chest. And then inhale, come up. Bring the leg down. So I'll just show on this side using a block. So you can, if you have a bolster as well, you can use the bolster. Have the block here. I'll just adjust my position and then bring the strap up again. Take the other leg. So with the right leg now, I'm holding with the left hand. Pressing this thigh away, so there's space here, and then start to roll on that bottom hip. Extend the arm. And you can adjust that block so that you can rest the leg on the block. Exhale, turn. So you can turn that bottom foot a little bit, but still rotate that bottom leg thigh inward. And then bring the leg up. And again, come back into Supta Tadasana, come back to the wall, extend your arms. Okay, so we're going to take a chair now to the wall, so just grab your chair, bringing it to the wall to the edge of the mat, and then you'll have one block to stand on. So this block will be for your leg away from the wall, so this will be your right leg. Bring your left leg up and place the foot on the block. For a little bit more stability, you can bring it down like that, but just have a little bit more height. And it really depends on your chair, it depends on your length of your body, but having the knee a little bit higher than the hip, okay? So the foot on the floor, you're pressing into the heel and you're lifting up out of this hip. So remember when we did Supta Padangusthasana 2, we had the blanket there. So we were aware of the outer hip muscles. So drawing the outer hip in, tailbone down, and then you'll bring your hands to the wall. This is Utthita Hasta Marichi Asana. So this knee and this hip, you want to keep this parallel to the wall. So if you find that when you start to turn, that knee is going toward the wall, you can place a bolster here, something to block you. For now, we'll just pay attention to that line, okay? So from here, bring your fingertips onto the wall. Fingertips are better to use than the hand. The fingertips are more sensitive, all right? So from here, you're lifting up out of this hip, At the same time, you're descending this hip, the outer hip, the hip toward the wall, using the fingertips. And now we're going to turn. So we're turning from the waist, we're turning from the middle back, we're turning from the upper back. All right, so that you're going to get some movement in the entire back area. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn. Using the fingertips, use the breath. So always to do any kind of twisting, you want to create space and length, and you'll do that with your inhalation as you lift up, and your exhalation, turn. So doing that a few times. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, turn. So from the center of the spine, you're widening, and I'm turning my right back ribs, turning my left chest away from the wall, collarbones wide. And then release. So just be careful when you come off that block. Then you'll turn to do the other side. So you just move your chair over, bring the block down. So you're on the ball of the big toes. The heel is pressing into that block. You're lifting up so that you're lifting up out of this hip. Bring your foot onto that chair. Balance yourself. So there's that movement of the hips, the outer hips moving in towards one another. So not shifting the hips out. Oftentimes you see people standing like this, so there's no awareness in the outer hip joint. So we're connecting into the hip joint. We're connecting and bringing awareness to the socket. So the femur bone is directly into the pelvis. And then from here, keep the knee moving back so the knee is in line with your hip. Maintaining that, inhale, lift up, exhale, turn. So starting from the lower area, from the waist, and then as you turn, moving up to the upper back. So not being in a hurry, almost like you would walk up a staircase, starting at the bottom and moving upward. So with each inhalation, lift up, pressing the bottom foot, lifting up out of that hip, exhale, turn. Again, inhale, exhale, turn. Using the fingertips at the wall to keep you aware of that space that you're turning into, so you don't push toward the wall. And then exhale, release. Okay, so you'll come off that block now, and we'll use the chair to do another twist, Bharavajasana. All right, I'll have you take the block and just bring the block between the legs. So you can hold it like this. So you want to, again, keep the pelvis level, all right? And so with the block there, that will help you to really understand what the legs are doing. So holding onto that block, sitting equally on both sitting bones. And then, again, from the backs of the thighs descending, the hips descending, inhale, lift up. So with your hands, one hand will be this hand I've got around the chair, and that's moving, helping you to have that direction of moving toward the shoulder toward the chair. This hand is with the direction of moving that shoulder back. So you don't want to just use your arms. You want to inhale, lift up, and then exhale as you turn, using the arms as a guide. Take a few breaths there. Your next inhalation, lift up, exhale, turn. So being aware when you get the breath up into that middle back, of that middle back area, and any tightness you have, inhale, lengthen up, exhale, turn. Keep the shoulders descending. So it's easy to hunch the shoulders up without knowing it, so descend the shoulders. and then release. Just watch your feet. So here you can see 1 foot, 1 out. So trying to keep the mounds of the feet, the toes, the heels, legs parallel to one another. All right? I'll just show you from this side now. So adjust in the chair. Sit in the chair seat as best you can. All chairs are a little bit different, so it depends on the size of your chair, size of the hips. Press the feet together if you can, depending on the block, but at least have the feet in contact with the mat. All right, from there, lift up again. Remember, one arm is pushing, one arm is pulling, but before you do any of that twisting, first extend up. So you feel that you're making space right through the spinal column. Remember, drop your shoulders, lift your chest, lift the sternum, drop the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. And then release. So depending on how your back is doing, just be gentle with yourself. But these are things that you can do each day to help you bring more awareness, especially if you're sitting in an office. So I'm going to go to the back now. We're going to do one more. I'll do it without the block. Be on your sitting bones. So if you're sitting a lot during the work that you do every day, this is something that you can do in your chair, depending on how your chair is. But you want a chair where the buttocks can be on a flat, hard surface, not a cushion so much. All right, so now bring the arm to the back of the chair, and we're going to swing this arm around. So as you bring that arm around, you're going to turn that shoulder. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, turn. So this arm moving down, depending on the length of your arm, you may want to bring the arm down a little bit. If your arm is short, as long as you don't lift the shoulder up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn. Pressing the knees together. Keep the pelvis level. Exhale, turn. And then release. Come back to the center. Switch sides so you have your arm holding onto that rail. Take your other hand back. You may only be able to get your hand here. So start where you have that flexibility. Everyone will have been in different kinds of conditions. So start where you can hold the arm. Inhale, lengthen up. You can press down with that hand as well, which will help you lift up. Exhale, turn. Again, with your inhalation, lengthen. Press the knees together. Feel the sitting bones on that chair equally. So if you feel, how do you know if you're straight or not? You're leaning back or forward. Feel where the weight is on your sitting bones and bring that weight to be even on the left and the right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn. You can walk the hand back a little bit further, then you'll do that. So you're widening across the front of the shoulder, extending that shoulder, move the shoulder blade into the body. And then release. Okay, so now we'll come out of the chair, but we'll use the chair again. So you'll bring your legs out. And you can bring your chair up to the wall, just so it doesn't slide. And then have a blanket, and bring that blanket or a bolster, whichever you have handy, and bring your blanket to the front of the chair seat. All right, this is a little bit of a back bend. So I want to get that arch in the back. I want to bring the tailbone in and lift up. So I'm going to use the chair to bring my pelvis to touch. All right, so I'm leaning forward, have the hands on the side of the chair, bring the tailbone to the pelvis, and rest the pelvis right on the front of the chair. And have your toes underneath, straighten the legs, press the arms down, and curve the upper back. Lift the back of the head, lift up. So you can feel here the shoulder blades moving into the body, getting a little bit of curve. Where we've been doing that twisting in the last pose, Bharvajasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog in the chair. And then to release from that, press the hands to the front of the chair, walk the feet away and lengthen. Keep the head in line with the arms. So now create broadness through the lower back again, like you had in Supta Padangusthasana. So across the sacrum area, press the heels into the floor like you did with Supta Padangusthasana, and move the thighs up into the hips. So you're connecting here, you're using the muscles on the outer hips. Outer hips are moving towards one another, inner thighs moving back. And then we'll take it again. So coming forward, press your hands down on the chair. Depending on how long your arms are, you may need to adjust. Move the pubic bone forward till you're touching. So you can keep the elbows bent until you do that. But keep the legs active. So straighten the legs, press the heels back, press the arms down, and roll the shoulders back. Feeling that action through the middle back, shoulder blades in, front chest lifted, lifting the back of the head, slightly looking up. And then come out. Extend the arms. Stay grounded on the feet, the front of the foot, the back of the foot. Lift up through the arches, right up through the legs. Move the outer hips back. Take a few breaths there. And then come up. And stand in Tadasana, just face the wall. Take a few breaths in Tadasana. All right, so now you take your blocks, just put them to the side. So keep your props to the side so that you don't ever have a chance of falling over them. So just keep them neat. Remember what your mother told you. Okay, so now you're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. So it's a standing pose. We'll use the chair just for a little extra support. All right, so I want you to bring the back to the wall. And when you bring the back to the wall, I want you to feel the shoulder blades flat, shoulders descending, tailbone descending. So you'll come forward. And with that hand on the chair, balance yourself. And then raise the back leg. As you raise the back leg, this is the same as Supta Padangusthasana when we were on the floor. So this is the leg that was on the floor or on the wall. So your outer hip is moving in, and as you lift the upper leg, if your arm is long, you can come down onto the elbow and then turn the inner thigh. Tailbone is moving away. Feel the buttocks at the wall. Move that buttocks flesh away. Same as we were doing when we were on the floor. So the lower back is long from the waist, the buttocks, and you're getting that rotation right at the top of the thigh of the buttocks as well. Turn the chest, bring that shoulder up onto the wall. Adjust your chair as you need. You can bring the hand down onto the chair rail as well. If you want that extension, pressing down, bring the whole arm and shoulder to the wall. and then reach up. So first just looking forward, keeping the back thigh lifted. You can feel the buttock at the wall. Move the buttock away from the wall, turn and look up. And then bend your knee, bring your leg down, come back to the front of the chair, and extend the arms. So still maintaining that width across the pelvis, abdomen quiet, moving back towards your lower back. And then come up. We'll take the chair to the other side. Okay, so starting with the right foot now at the end of your mat. Coming forward, adjusting that foot as you need, depending on the hip and the buttocks. And then you'll come up. Bring your back hand on your hip so you can feel where that leg is. And then cut the buttock under. So the buttock is externally rotating at the top of the thigh. Top of the thigh is connecting into the pelvis, and the buttock is turning down toward that lifted leg. Okay? You can bring your elbow down. Keep the back leg lifted. Keep the heel at the wall. Turn the chest. If that's too creating any jamming, you can take your hand down onto the chair. As you hold that chair leg, press down. Turn your chest and bring the arm up. So looking forward first, just adjust. With that top hand, press the top hand, move the buttock away from the wall, and turn the chest. And then bring the hand down. Bring the hands back to the chair. Come into Ardha Uttanasana. And then step forward. You take the chair just to the side. And now you'll come down onto the mat again. We'll use 2 blocks for Sechabandha. So in Sechabandha, we'll come down onto the floor. You'll have the block. The block is in several heights. So depending on the condition of your body. Let's start with the median height, okay? So medium, that will be for your feet, and this will be for under your sacrum. So the way you'll start is to come a little bit closer than one leg's length to the wall. Move the hips down. And then you'll lift up, and you'll take the lower back, the sacrum, on this flat part. So as you press your feet down, bring your lower back onto that support, and then just measure. Let's see here. Okay, I'm a little too close, so that often happens. You're too close or too far. So I'll lift up, bring the block further away from the wall, move my shoulders. So now come right back onto the sacrum, and then try again. Okay, so now I'm going to be able to straighten the legs. As I straighten the legs, the buttock flesh moves down like we were doing earlier on the floor in Supta Tadasana. Adjust the shoulders, roll the shoulders under, and let's keep the feet hips width apart. All right, so you press the feet into the wall, broad, wide sacrum. Make sure the chest is able to lift, shoulders, the skin of the shoulder blades, the skin of the back body moving down, and lengthen the back of the head. So the back of the head is moving away. So if you find that your chin is lifted, just adjust your shoulders a little bit more. If that doesn't work to bring it down, try lifting and bringing the chin towards your chest, but mostly lifting your chest up more. And if that's not working, then take half of a blanket, put it underneath your head. Okay, so thighs are moving down. So that action of the legs descending, connecting the heels back into the hips, into the pelvis. Relax the abdomen. shoulder blades and the top of the shoulders descending. Relax your arms, relax your throat. So just breathe in this pose. Still getting a lift of the chest, slight curve of the upper back. Of course, if you find this height is too high, you can bring it onto the flatter edge, or if you want to go a little bit higher, you can go onto the higher block. Okay, so flatter edge would be like this. You would do the same thing at the wall. If you wanted to take it higher, you'd walk your feet in further, lift your hips up, and take the tailbone under the block. It brings you a little bit further away from the wall, so you probably have to come closer to the wall. Okay, so those are the 3 variations depending on your condition. So now you'll roll to the side, press yourself up. And then for Shavasana, you can take either a bolster or take some blankets and just roll them like so. If you have blankets or towels, I'll show from the side, so that when you come down, you have a little bit more support of the femur bone moving into the hip socket. So again, I'm going to come down. I want the blanket, the rolls, or the bolster below my knees. Again, lifting up, tilting the pelvis, lengthening the lower back, broad and wide across both sides of the sacrum, and then move your arms out to the side, shoulder blades rolling under, and then let your legs lengthen out one at a time. So you're rolling from the inner thigh to outer thigh. And just allow that upper leg to release slightly down with gravity, so you feel both sides of the pelvis well grounded. And then just be there. Relax your breath. So I'm going to come out of this pose now. You can stay in that if you'd like to. I'll just show one more where you can, if you need a little bit more back support, your back has been giving you some problems, you can just bring the chair and move with the buttocks into underneath the chair seat. Let the calves be on the chair. So here, now you have even more weight of the femur bone moving down into the hip socket. You can be there at your lower back rest, hips evenly on the mat, shoulders, feeling the shoulder blades flat on the back. Release your arms. And then just be there. It's time for you to come up. You just bend your knees and you'll roll onto the side. And come up. So these were some different poses that you can do either singly or together, but always having a practice. But specifically these were good for the back. So maintaining a standing practice, a full practice. In between, these are things you can do to release the back. Okay? So, thank you for coming. Namaste. Thank you for showing up. If you've learned something today, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click that bell so you can be notified of the next new class that comes up. Lastly, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get back to you. So see you in the next class.